Live from the beautiful campus of Alcorn State University post-homecoming 2021. And what a homecoming it was. Great crowd, great atmosphere, great food, great scene, and a great win as the Braves win on homecoming. And now we're down to just a couple of teams that's kind of in contention here. The Braves and Prairie View both undefeated, with Southern and Texas Southern one loss, as well as we had a terrific football game as the Grambling Tigers rolled into town. The Braves started fast and had to hang on. We'll be taking your questions, your comments, your phone calls. Give us a call, 601-877-6595. You can text a question, 601-348-7254. You can tweet a question. I'm on Twitter, Tall Man Radio. A lot to discuss, a lot to unpack here as the Braves hung on and beat Grambling. We'll have the SWAC stats. We'll also have the SWAC standings, some NCAA news, and we'll preview Mississippi Valley. They've won 2 in a row. And we'll be talking about the Delta Devils as we roll into Itabena Saturday at 3 o'clock. The Fred McNair program will start after this 1-minute timeout here on the Braves Sports Network. McNair program here on the Braves Sports Network here on this Monday. Charles Edmond, Braves head football coach Fred McNair stepping into the studio. Someone told me, Coach, that you were still out tailgating and celebrating from Saturday. Is that fact or fiction?
No. That's fiction. No, I wouldn't tailgate. No,
even though the tailgaters are gone, you're still celebrating about the big win. So that definitely was not true, correct?
That's definitely not true. We're moving on from that one, Charles. We got that one in the barn, and it's time to move on to Valley.
Well, let's recap the game first of all, and we'll get into the highlights. Of course, it was a terrific atmosphere. I mean, homecoming at Alcorn State University is nothing like it. I mean, my usual traditional early morning drive on this campus at 5:30 in the morning. It was 30 deep, getting on this campus, and at 5:30 in the morning, that's 9, almost 10 hours before kickoff. But that's the way it works. That's the way it's got to be, and just a terrific atmosphere, terrific football game as it turned out.
It was, Charles. Great excitement. The players and the coaching staff that was a part of this is great homecoming. Great homecoming. Like I told the kids, we get a chance to enjoy ourselves after the game, and we had a great win, and just told the kids, enjoy themselves and be safe, and just be mindful of what they're doing after the game. So. We got them all back this morning, Charles, so that was a good thing. All the guys showed up for meeting this morning at 7:40, so got them in and got them out, got a good practice in.
You're getting ready, trying to turn the page and get ready for a tough Valley team that's coming up here. Valley's won 2 in a row, and they made the Clarion Ledger top 10 in terms of SWAC teams, along with, of course, Alcorn and Jackson State. So we'll talk about Valley a little later. Let's get into it, Coach. We got up to a fast start in the football game. We went 75 yards in 4 plays on the first time that we touched the football. Felix Harper to Pringle for 45 yards.
That was great execution. The things that the guys normally get a chance to do during the course of a game, and that's what you're talking about, a fast start, coming out of the gates and making the plays and completing the pass to the Charles Pringle for a 45-yard touchdown. That was great to start the game off, Charles.
It was 7-0 at that point, but then Grambling moved the football. Garrett Urban with his field goal of 45 yards, making it 7-3. The storyline, Coach McNair, Noah Bowden getting the start for Grambling, his second start, his third game played as a freshman. You talked about it last week, a kid that we were looking at in the recruiting process. Talk about the challenges you had dealing with him. I thought we really rattled him a little bit. He was efficient against Alabama A&M, but he was off target in the game on Saturday. He was 10 of 27.
Yeah, I think starting off early, I think what we did on defense kind of gave some different looks in the aspect of the coverage and things of that nature, Charles. I think Coach Thornton did a great job of mixing it up and applying pressure on him. We knew he wasn't a real good running quarterback, but he's a big old guy. I think we did things to kind of make his feet happy back in the pocket to make some of those throws bad.
So it was 7-3 at one point, and then our special teams made a positive play, Coach. We got a punt blocked, and we got the football at Grambling 25-yard line, so we got a push up front.
That was excellent. I think Juan Taylor came in and got the block punt there. We got a good push, got a get off. And that's what we work on during the course of practice, just getting off the takeoff from the stance of a PBR. I think we did a great job of getting that block and covering the football there.
So it was 7-3, and then we added a touchdown off that good opportunity, Coach, to take advantage of great field position, and we scored there to make it 14-3. And so it was a good opportunity to take advantage of some early opportunities against this Grambling defense.
And that's what you're supposed to do, Charles. And every opportunity that you have in the red zone to put it in the box, that you need to do it. So you don't get too many of those opportunities sometimes. And we got a good block on the punt, and Felix Harper was able to take it in from 14 out.
So it was 14-3 at the end of the first quarter. A fast start. We had 14 of our 24 points, Coach, in the first quarter. A fast start. That's something that you've been talking about.
Exactly right. And the young men know that. We talked about it on Thursday practice, just getting off to a fast start. Both offense, defense, and special teams. I thought we did exactly what we needed to do on that, Charles. So we was excited about the start of the game.
14-3 at the end of the first quarter. Let's go to the phone lines here. 601-877-6595. Our main man Marquise, M&M. Our main man Marquise joining us. What's up, main man Marquise? I think that's a good name for you. How about that?
Yeah, how you doing, Charles?
I'm doing well.
Coach Clay, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Marquise.
Yeah, man. I thought they almost got us, man.
Yeah, we had a pull on at the end, Marquise. I think the defense, they got that bend but don't break rule, man, and they stood up and made a good interception at the end to give us the ball back so we can kneel it to seal the game, man. They played an excellent football game.
Yeah, cause I was down in the game. Me and my mama down there was the game.
You enjoyed it? You enjoyed that crowd, Marquise?
Yeah, man.
It was rocking, man.
I hope I had to walk down there to see you.
Yeah, man. You come down and see me anytime, man. You know that.
Yeah, I know.
All right, Marquise.
I hope y'all get that big win against Valley.
We working towards that this week, Marquise. I appreciate you, man.
All right,
Marquise. Thank you very much. We'll take a break here. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll have the second quarter recap coming your way. Give us a call, 601-877-6595. You can text a question, 601-348-7254. You can tweet a question. I'm on Twitter, Tall Man Radio. Got a lot to talk about and a special surprise at the end of this show. We'll talk about that as we roll along. We'll be back after this timeout here on the Braves Sports Network.
Freedom. It's at the core of who we are. The freedom to live without fear, to jog where we please, to wear a hoodie. The freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
Whether it's advice on managing your anxiety or tools to help you stay grounded, Coping-19 provides a range of resources and self-care tips to help you cope with this pandemic. We can help. Find the resources that work best for you at coping-19.org.
On the radio side, Jamario Brooks, our producer on the video side. You can't see him. He's off to our right, Cedric Tillman, making the news here in the Vicksburg area for all the good work he does with the pictures and the photography and the video. And he's got a camera in one hand. Fred McNair's got two microphones. He's on Saturdays. He's a busy guy. He's worn out when it's all over with, but he earns what he gets. That's for sure.
That's right. Good to have him. Good to have him on board, Charles.
Cedric Tillman, our producer on the video side. All right, let's look at the second quarter, Coach. It was 14-3 at the end of the first quarter. On the second quarter, with Charles Pringle. Talk about this combination, Coach. Pringle to Harper. We saw it in 2019. They had a pretty good chemistry. You and I have talked about, just trying to get that combination back going again because he's one of the featured receivers coming into this season. He had a huge day on Saturday, and he had the 13-yard reception. Looked like they were in a pretty good rhythm.
Yeah, Charles, that's the thing about quarterback and receivers. They have this connection there. Sometimes that could get you in trouble a lot of times too, Charles. It could be the other way around, especially when you're looking for that guy and you're making bad decisions at the same time. But the Charles Pringle, he's a hardworking guy in practice, as all the other guys too. They work phenomenal hard. Coach Phillips does a great job of getting these guys prepared for games and in all the situations that could occur. And so working with those guys and just seeing those guys work during the course of practice, it kind of you kind of can see how they work in the game.
How was that wide receiver room? Because you got so many options. You got Bowler, you got Juan Anthony, you got Pringle. There's so many options that you could go to. Manny Flash Jones. How's that wide receiver room? Just one football and so many guys that you can get them the football.
The biggest thing is, Charles, is them understanding the concept of our routes, and anybody can get the ball at any given time. Just a matter of the quarterback seeing it the way he needs to see it to get to the open guy. That's the most intriguing part about it. This group of young men, they work hard every day, and they compete every day. So I wish I had 12 balls, Charles, because these guys work extremely hard and doing the things they do during the course of practice, and they're running throughout the whole day for at least 2.5 hours of practice. So just the idea of them guys doing the work to get on the field on Saturday is phenomenal.
Pringle, a really solid game on Saturday. His touchdown made it 21-3 with 13:48 left here in this second quarter. And then Grambling got a field goal. Garrett Urban's 39-yard field goal made it 21-6. At that point, it was 4th down and 6 from the 22-yard line. I think Broderick Fobbs there was a timeout taken. UL took a timeout there, Coach, just to try to see what they were going to do with that because they were moving the football a little bit. They could have went for it, but they settled for 3.
Yeah, that was the thing, Charles. I didn't really know exactly what they're going to do, and so we got a timeout there to kind of see what that's going to be the issue, what they're going to go for it or not to kind of get in the right defense.
It was 21-6 at halftime, Coach. Just kind of back and forth. You look at the field position that we had the last 5 minutes. We got it at our 25. Grambling got it at the 5. We were able to get off the field there. And then we got the football with 1:36 left, kind of taking it into halftime. At that point, it was 21-6. Your thoughts through the first 30 minutes?
I thought that both sides of the ball, even special teams, played a good first half. I still think we left some on the table there that we could have got Charles in some of those situations. We didn't execute as well as we should have on offense in those situations. I think the defense played extremely tough as they always been. Charles, they played fast and they did what they had to do to get off the field on our 3rd down. They allowed only 3 third downs out of 14 for Grambling. So that was big. And I always talk about the stats. Those are the only stats I really worry about is the 3rd down conversion. I don't worry about what the yardage rush for or nothing. Just 3rd downs is very big for me. And offensively, we didn't do a good enough job on 3rd downs to sustain drives. We got to get a whole lot better at that.
Yeah, what is that? That's the only stat that you say you look at 3rd down conversions. What does that number tell you? With 3 of 14, you could be 8 of 14 or 7 of 14. Is 50% the number? What's kind of the line for you and what you look at?
And I would take 75, at least 75% on 3rd down, Charles. And then you're doing pretty good then. You like to be a little bit higher than that, but we understand they have football players too and coaches too as well. But the biggest thing is if you're converting 3rd down, that means you're moving the football. When you're converting 3rd down, that means you're going in to score in the okay scenario. So you go 2 for 15, you're not doing so good. That means you're punting the ball a whole lot than more you need to. So we just got to get better on 3rd downs and in that case, and I think a lot of it got to do with execution. I had a meeting with my quarterback probably about an hour ago. We had a good conversation and about things that we got to get better at. Just from his standpoint, is making sure that we convert third down. We 2 for 4 on fourth down, which is not really good, but it's 50%. But we could at least been 4 for 4 on fourth down. Just failed to execute the way the play was designed.
So 3 for 14 on third down. The magic question I ask is, was it more of the opposition, in this case Grambling, or was it not enough of us?
Well, it's not enough of us. I look at the film, Charles, on yesterday, and we missed a lot of stuff, a lot of wide open stuff that could have been converted on third down. So I always take a look at Alcorn first, and Alcorn have a lot to do with it. It's about what we do. It's not about the other team. So I think that we be able to execute the play that's called, I think we'll be a whole lot better in that efficiency of third down.
We'll take a break here. We'll look at the third quarter and fourth quarter recap. We'll look at the numbers as well. And we got a lot of other good stuff. Some NCAA news that came down, some guidance about transfers and rosters and all that came across last week. We'll talk about that as we roll along as well. And a little bit of a surprise at the end of this show. So stick around for all that. We're just getting started. The Fred McNair Show will return after this. Time out.
It's not just the ships, the armor, or the aircraft. It's something more. It's the will to fight and determination to win, found inside each and every Marine that answers a nation's call. Battles won.
Once you get to Alcorn, it's kind of like there's a place for everybody. I fell in love with the people.
Overall, I love the experience, whether it's personal, whether it's in education. Anywhere you turn, there's always a helping hand.
People just going up and asking you, hey, are you new, are you lost, and taking an interest.
I would tell students if they want to be challenged, to learn and grow and be in an environment that is nurturing, in a place where they're not just a number, where people know you by name, then I would tell them to come to Alcorn.
Network 91.7 WPRL and online WPRL.org. In Natchez, WMIS WTYJ 1240 AM 97.7 FM, NatchezRadio.com. They've been doing it down there for over 100 years in the Mislu area. That's part of the Braves Sports Radio Network at 90.1 WMPR in Jackson. All right, so Coach, we led at the break 21-6, and we extended that advantage to 24-6. We talked about our kicking game. Christopher Thompson, talk about the kicking situation right now, where we are right now.
That's a good kicking situation, Charles. Noah came in and did a great job. Last week, Christopher Thompson, he was kind of under the weather a little bit and didn't get a chance to practice through the week, but he dressed out just in case of emergency if something happened to Noah. But we got a unique situation there. We got an academic kicker and we got a scholarship kicker. So Noah did a great job for us, and I commended him that this morning during the team meeting, how well he stepped in and made all the extra points and made a field goal for us there, Charles. So that was big, just coming in his first collegiate game. And kicking extra points and kicking the field goal. So I was excited about it. I'm excited about where we're at now, knowing that we have two guys that can be a threat to for us kicking the football.
Noah Kayani, 23-yard field goal. That capped off a 17-play, 74-yard drive. So, Coach, throughout the course of this game, we had long drives, 75-yard drive to start, 74-yard drive here. So we were able to go almost the length of the field and put long ball control drives together. And then even in the fourth quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, we're able to put together some long drives, not productive in terms of putting points on the board, but we took time off the clock.
Yeah, take time off the clock, but you also want to put that thing in the box with that long charge. You're talking about 17 plays for 74 yards, and right under 8 minutes. And you always want to capitalize on that when you get in the red zone. And like I said, some of it just dealing with execution stuff, and we just got to get better at it. And understand what we have to do to put the ball in the end zone.
That was a 7-minute, 48-second drive. Even though we got 3 out of it, it was 24-6. Then Grambling coach changed the pace up on us. Alden Clark came into the ball game as Grambling got the ball with 4:47 left in the third. A 33-yard run, and Grambling went right down the field. They went 70 yards in 6 plays, taking up 3:23. Clark bringing a change of pace to things. Bowden obviously struggled. We talked about his struggles, 10 of 27. But Clark provided a little bit of trouble for us. Talk about that.
Yeah, he did. He come in and he ran the quarterback power, and that's what he do. He's a good runner. Not bad at passing the football, but I think he gave him another dimension there in terms of what they can do on offense as far as running the football. So he came in and gave him a spark there. And, in a couple of plays that we got linebackers that need to be in those gaps and just was a gap over. Didn't quite get there. So just have an idea of just guys doing what they're supposed to do and doing it the right way could stop a whole lot of this.
And then the Grambling scored on a 3rd and 8. Noah Bowden back in the game, and his pass to Clark for 20 yards. And we had a ball game, Coach, 24-13 right there.
Yeah, it was tough, Charles. And just watching the lead like that just kind of just whizzled away a little bit. Just kind of felt that something's bad's going to happen. But our guys stayed tough and they played well through the third quarter.
And the fourth quarter, that got real interesting as well, and we'll get to it after this timeout as we approach the bottom of the hour. Let's pause for 1 minute, and when we come back, we'll look at the fourth quarter where things got interesting. This is the Brave Sports Network.
America, land of the free. It's at the core of who we are. Freedom. The freedom to live without fear. To drive through all 50 states, to sleep safely in our own beds, the freedom to jog where we please, to watch birds in the park, to wear a hoodie, the freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because no matter your religion, gender, disability, age, race, all lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter.
At the bottom of the
You
hour.
are tuned in to WPRL 91.7 FM, broadcasting from the campus of Alcorn State University.
All right, halfway through the Fred McNair program here on the Brave Sports Network. Let's look at the fourth quarter, Coach. We got the ball at a 3rd down and 10 at our own 25-yard line. In our first play of the fourth quarter, Felix Harper's pass was intercepted by Myron Stewart. Talk about that play.
Yeah, that's one of those plays that you always kind of don't like, Charles, when the ball get tipped and the guy picks it off. So you credit that to the defensive lineman getting his hands up and knocking the ball down.
So how would you assess Grambling's defensive line? I was looking at the A&M Grambling game. They really got after Aquil Glass. How would you account for how we're able to hold up against Grambling's pressure?
I thought that we did a great job, Charles. The couple of times that we got sacked, he was on the move out of the pocket in terms of that. But I thought the offensive line played really good. They strained themselves to that point to where they can hold up to that. Because Grambling did a whole bunch of stuff, Charles. They kind of chop it up inside a little bit to kind of confuse and get you on man and stuff like that. So I think our offensive line did a tremendous job of holding up to that. Just some plays that I thought that we could have got more out of, especially on the third down and short, stuff like that. We could have gave more push up front than what we did.
Well, Grambling got the ball early in the fourth quarter. Braves were up 24-13. Off that turnover, they got the ball at the Braves 31-yard line. And Alden Clark, they went with that 2-quarterback system. Clark started this drive at a pass to Greg White. They reviewed the play, 20 yards, and Coach, it's now a ball game. at one point, 24-6, and now it's 24-20 early fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's early, Charles, and that's the thing that we talked about, playing 4 quarters, playing a full 60 minutes during the course of a football game. And I think we played only 30 minutes during the course of that game. We didn't come out and play quite as well as we should have in the second half of the game, and they made a game of it. I credit Coach Favre and his group coming out second half and making a game of this. And like I said, we just have to be able to finish the ball game when it comes down late in the fourth quarter.
And the fourth quarter, the Braves got the ball, a 4-point game, 14-18 left, went 3 and out. Then Grambling got it at the 13-23 mark. Grambling took a timeout on a 3rd down and 3. Biden back in a quarterback, and his pass to Bruton incomplete. Then off a 39-yard urban punt. We got the football with 10:21 left, Coach, at our 14-yard line, and we got to Grambling's 12. It had a 4th and 1. And a fumble, Leatherwood recovered by Elder.
Yeah, that's just a bad exchange between quarterback and running back. I thought we could have got it if the quarterback would have pulled it and kept it around the end. It was something that I wanted to do and make sure that we end this ball game, Charles. And I think that if we get that first down there, we'll solidify this ball game early instead of late in the fourth quarter.
So with that, Grambling got the football with 7:50 left in the fourth quarter. 2nd and 7 from midfield. Maybe the Spinks jinx was with us because Clark fumbled the football, recovered by Wren at midfield.
Yes, and then like I said, another opportunity for us, Charles. Another opportunity for the offense to go down and put it in the box, and we stumbled again there.
Yeah, we got it at 6:09 left. At our 46-yard line. We took up 4:27 on the clock. So a timeout was taken. We were able to talk about how we were able to milk that drive a little bit and milk the clock down.
The biggest thing is just run the 40-second clock down to the last second. I think Coach Ratton did a great job of making sure that when the play went in, it was about 15 seconds when the play went in, and that's enough time to get a play off in 15 seconds. So just running that clock down the way we did, I thought that was phenomenal in trying to milk the clock.
We got it at 6:09. By the time Grambling touched it, it was 1 minute, 42 seconds left. 3rd and 10. Bowden's pass intercepted by Taylor to seal the game. What worried me, Coach, was Bowden struggled. We've talked about that already, but Clark provided a change of pace that they were positive with it, but yet in the last 4 plays on that last drive, it was Bowden, and he struggled obviously, but we were able to get to him a little bit, rattle him a little bit, and Taylor with the pick. We hadn't called his name that much, Coach Jawan Taylor. We know what he's capable of doing. Talk about the year that he's had.
He's having a good year, Charles. I think he's doing the right thing to kind of keep that secondary intact, and with him and KJ back there at safety, they're doing some good things. I call them thumpers, and they come down and put their head on you, Charles, and that's what they do. And Juan Taylor just made a good assertive effort to dive and catch that interception off of the tip, off of deflection. So he's a ball hog. He's around the ball just about every time there's a tackle made.
Braves hung on and won 24-20. One of the things I look at right away, Coach, I thought even though we got off to a fast start, had to hang on, I thought the 16 days off that we had a 16-day layoff. And I thought we played with a lot of energy. And you could tell that with Grambling as well, tough game with A&M. I just thought we may have been maybe a step or so faster because it looked like we were fresher. I can see that right out of the gate. Were you able to see that?
Yeah, especially the first half. The first half was tremendous. The way we came out, had a lot of guys that come back off injuries and kind of freshen up a little bit, got them in a little bit of more shape than what we normally be in. So I was excited about the first half, but just going into the locker room just feeling good at that time, Charles, and you never know how the second half is going to turn out until you go play it. And I would have never expect that to be the second half that we would have came out to.
Yeah, it was almost, it was kind of like a reversal. I was talking with Cedric Bush about it. Against Pine Bluff, we started fast, and Pine Bluff started fast, and we came back. And then in the first half of Grambling, we started fast, and Grambling came back. It was like, are we looking at, the same type of game all over again, the way it was unfolding?
You're exactly right. Kind of like strange that Charles,
yeah.
Tell of two halves, So, but we was able to muster down. Like I said, the defense played extremely well and getting that pick in that last few minutes.
We're going to take a time out here. We'll go inside the numbers. We got some questions, some texts, some tweets to get to, some other NCAA news, some news involving our interim athletics director, Cyrus Russ, who was named last week. We'll get Coach McNair's thoughts on that, and then we'll look ahead to Mississippi Valley. So a lot to unpack. We'll take a break. We'll get to it after this timeout here on the Braves Sports Network.
Can I get the now bar, please? $1. Have a good one. Got it.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Let me get a now bar.
Sure. $1.
Appreciate you.
Got it.
Here on this Monday, as we'll be turning our attention shortly to Mississippi Valley, a team that's won 2 in a row, 2 big wins. They beat North Carolina Central at home on the final play of the game 2 weeks ago, and then this past week they won at Bethune-Cookman. So a Valley team that's rolling right now. So we'll talk about Coach Dancy's team coming up. All right, Coach, let's go inside the numbers. Well, I had 150 yards passing, 207 yards rushing. I thought, Coach, we got a running game going, 207 yards rushing, led by Nico Duffy with 138, and he was running up and down the field, and our running game was productive, averaging 4.6 yards per attempt, and that's Braves football, isn't it?
Yes, it is, Charles. You know, we really strive on our running game, and I think that Coach Radden and them guys put together good game plan for this ball game, and it's just a matter of just executing. And I think in the passing game that we left a lot out there in the passing game. We had a lot of open guys that didn't get the ball, and you know, we just got to get better as going through our progression, our reads to get those open guys the ball. To where we can pile on some more yardage in the passing game. And if anybody knows, Felix knows, that wasn't a good game by him. Just managing the ball game and doing what he's supposed to do in terms of throwing the ball to a lot of open guys. And that's why some of this stuff was just 2 for 15. A lot of it was on third down passes.
And our running game, obviously, Stafford Anderson back at it. He had 9 carries. 43 gain yards. I thought he looked pretty good, pretty healthy, pretty strong.
Yeah, pretty strong, Charles. But we just got to get him in shape now. So, you know, the second half he didn't play the second half due to some cramps and situations that way. But I understand that because of when he was out with his knee, didn't get a chance to do any cardio and no condition and stuff like that. So we'll get him back in game shape this week, Charles, now, and he'll be ready to come out to shoot again.
The receiving category, Pringle with 2 touchdowns, 67 yards. C.J. Bowler, 4 for 38. Juan Anthony, 3 for 36. So, Coach, on the defensive side, who impressed you the most individually there is we had to come up with some stops, get off the field. Obviously, Juwan Taylor with the pick at the end, recovered a fumble in the fourth quarter. Grambling was making a charge. But what impressed you about the defensive effort?
You know, the biggest thing is, I thought we could have applied more pressure on the quarterback. We could have got to him a little bit better up front. But you look at the guys in the back end, you talk about Taylor and Wilson that came down and played well. All those guys in the secondary, we had a couple of miscues on some of the nickel stuff. Got hit for a touchdown on one of those routes, and got beat on the corner route by a go ball. So we got a lot of stuff we can touch up on and charge, but stuff that's easy to fix though. Whether it's technique or something of that nature, we just get it fixed. But I thought it was totally overall defense played exceptionally well up to those 2 big plays that they gave up there.
I'm sorry, Coach. Defensively, giving up 3.4 yards per carry on the ground and getting pressure up front, that was huge. So the Braves win this one 24-20. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll get to the text and tweets, some other news to talk about, and a surprise coming your way a little bit later. So we'll take a break. We'll be back after this on the Braves Sports Network.
right, pal.
Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
What's that?
Do we have a gun?
Why do you ask that, kiddo?
Can I play with it?
No, absolutely not. It's not a toy. You know that. Anyway, I need it to protect you, your sister, and Mom.
But what about the 8 kids who get shot every day by mistake?
Where'd you hear that?
Where do you keep it?
It's hidden.
I bet it's on the top shelf of the closet, under your sweatshirts. Is it loaded? Remember when I found my Christmas gift? You always told me to be curious.
No. No, that's not what I meant.
And when it's just me and Mom, I could use the gun to protect her.
No, Justin. I promise. I'm always here for you.
But Dad, you're not always here.
Glad you can join us on the Brave Sports Network. All right, Coach, as we get to the texts and tweets, I already know the folks have been texting and talking about this one the last couple of days. We got off to a fast start offensively, and did you seem like things kind of bogged down offensively for us? Because there's some concern there. Obviously, folks think that we should put up a bunch of points, and we started fast, but things kind of slowed down a little bit. The bogging down of the offense a little bit. Can you talk about that?
No, I mean, it's bogged down, and it evidently shows. I mean, we didn't play as well the second half as we should have. And like I said, I have a conversation with our quarterback for one, and I think that's where it starts at, execution-wise. We look at the film on Sunday, and we left a lot out there, and that's what I had a conversation with him about today. You know, we just got to fix these things. There's no major overhaul. We just got to make sure our eyes need to be where they're supposed to be, and we just got to put them in better situations and get them started off the right way. I think in terms of what we're doing offensively is great. I don't think we need to do anything more or anything less in terms of what we're doing offensively. I think the game plans are solid. I think we just got to come out and execute them the way they should be.
Yep. I mean, we started out fast, and there's no question about that. Left a lot out there. So, I mean, yeah, everybody wants to see a bunch of points, and that's clearly the case. But you want to be efficient as well. So, how would you talk about just being efficient offensively?
Yeah, I mean, you want to score points. I mean, you want to score points, but at the same time, you want to be positive about everything you do as well. Every game, you're not going to score 50 points. They have coaches too. In those terms, they put together a game plan to scheme up what you're doing offensively as well. The same way we do defensively, we put a defense of scheme together to stop offenses. So that's just the way the game is played. I wish we could score 60 points a game, but I can't guarantee that. Yeah. Every game is gonna be different. Hopefully we just talk to the guys today about putting this whole thing together. Offense, defense, and special teams playing on the same boat. So it's gonna be games like that. So like I said, I wish we could score 60 every game, Chalk.
And even if you go back 2 years ago, we went to the hole. It was 1916. We won 5 in a row, and we left some stuff out there then as far as points are concerned. And so when we play Grambling, it's kind of a slugfest. It's kind of a battle. 1916 2 years ago, 24-20 here. So that's kind of what I expected, a low-scoring tussle.
Yeah, and you're playing teams that are capable of playing good defense. Everybody's this league is getting tougher and tougher every year, Charles. You're going to have to fight every year. It's going to be a fight every year. If you don't come out and play 100% every game, it's going to be that way. So just get the young man to understand that we got to play our brand of football and execute as well as we know how without any flaws in it. But like I said, it's not going to be 100% every game. Nobody's perfect. We strive to be, yes, but we haven't got there yet. So we just gonna continue to play hard, play fast, play physical, and hopefully the outcome will be to our favor.
On the text line, Preston from Natchez for Coach McNair. Coach, just wondering, what are we doing to incorporate our backup quarterbacks into the rotation to keep the great lineage of quarterbacks going even after Felix's departure?
Oh, yeah, every day in practice. We emphasize that every day in practice. Always the number 2 guy that I really worry about getting better each and every day. And I think we're taking big strides in that. And Coach Gray is doing a phenomenal job with those backup quarterbacks that we have. So we continue to press on, and we're trying to solidify the guy that's going to be going to take over the reins when Felix gone. So we continue working and won't stop our recruiting. We'll continue to recruit good quarterbacks.
Another from the text line. You can send a text anytime, 601-348-7254. Coach, this text here, most teams are playing our receivers one-on-one with no safety help. Will we start to take advantage of this matchup?
Well, we had one going down the sideline in this ball game. We missed out on that. We had several in several games, and we missed the throws, Charles. So it's not the fact that we're not taking advantage of it. We just got to take advantage of the opportunity that we have when we throw it down there. So we got to make it count. So that's the biggest thing. Yeah, that's where you talk about executing the play. When you have an opportunity to throw it downfield, we got to make that play. We got to get the receiver a chance to make a play on it. The biggest thing is that, every team gonna play us different. So we just got to continue to do the things that we're doing in terms of getting these receivers that's open the ball.
Another from the text line, Nico Duffy. We talked about the game that he had in his comment. Nico Duffy had his best game. He was amazing and outstanding. Would you characterize that in terms of his performance?
Nico been solid. When Nico came back to camp, he was buffed up a little bit, Charles. He picked up about maybe 3 or 4 pounds and came back solid. And he's doing some good stuff for us in his offense. Now he running between the tackles and all that kind of stuff. Good in pass protection. Does a good job in pass protection. So with a small frame and having to take on linebackers, it's hard to get somebody to do that. But he got a big heart and he played tough.
We appreciate the texts that have come in. You can text anytime, 601-348-7254. All right, Coach, from the Twitter feed, Tall Man Radio, this from Mr. T. Coach, our center went down again, and I was talking with Cedric Tillman about that. How is Milburn doing?
He's doing good. He just got a little ankle rolled up, but he'll be fine. He walked around on it today and getting treatment on it, but Milburn going to be fine. He's tough. He's tough.
You talked about Stafford Anderson. Edgerton, talk about his situation.
He's going to be out, Charles. He got to have surgery. I'm thinking this week, sometime this week, Charles. He tore up everything in his knee, so he got to have totally reconstructive surgery on the ACL, MCL, whatever L you got in your knee. So, but he was a solid player for us, Charles. Just coming in and just unfortunately he had that injury to his knee. We're gonna miss him. He came in and was becoming a starter for us. So he'll be missed at that linebacker core.
From IM3 on the Twitter feed, Coach, great ball game and happy for the hard-fought win. We seem to be struggling in the red zone versus blitz packages. How can we execute better versus zero and single high coverage?
He said the word execute. And that's big for us. And we had one down there, and we just got to make sure we just got to execute the play. We got open guys, and we just got to get it to them. That's my major concern about not being able to execute more than the schematic of the play and the concept of it. We just got to execute the thing that's called.
Joshua R. Davis tweets in, Coach, you guys keep protecting the house at all costs. I love it. That win makes 10 in a row at home. And now let's turn our attention to Valley. And, Coach, speaking of that, 10 straight wins at home. That's number 3, Coach, in the FCS, only behind Eastern Washington and Montana. 3rd longest home winning streak in the FCS.
That's special, Charles. These guys take pride in playing at home and the things that they do for their fan base here. They get excited when they see the crowds in the stands and the alumni and the Alkanites and everybody cheering for them and just having a good time. That's the thing the young men take pride in protecting their house. And that's the thing that I always try to push them to when they go in the locker room. I said, that's your house. Let's take pride in it. Let's keep it clean, And I think that's the biggest thing that we try to instill in the young men to do the right thing around this campus and taking care of their home. And they've been doing that thus far, Charles. They've been doing a tremendous job at it. So we're gonna continue to push them to do the right thing and take more pride in what they're doing. And that's one thing that they're doing now, just taking pride of what they get accomplished here at Jack Speaks Marino Castle Stadium.
And it'll be a while before we play in the friendly confines. We've got games on the road, Valley, Southern, Bethune, Texas Southern before we come home. So we got to get it done on the road to put ourselves in position maybe to wrap up the West at home, but we got to take care of business first on the road. We'll take a break here. Got some NCAA news to talk about, and we'll talk about Valley and a special surprise. We'll get to that coming up after this. Time out here on the Fred McNair Show.
Alcorn State.
It's not just the ships, the armor, or the aircraft. It's something more. It's the will to fight and determination to win, found inside each and every Marine that answers a nation's call. Battles won.
It's been difficult because I hadn't been able to see my grandchildren.
I can't wait to get back to field trips with my school.
Not having to think about putting on a mask.
I really can't wait to get back to life, really.
I miss all my friends. I miss taking pictures in school.
An expression on someone's face when you do something nice for them.
COVID-19 vaccines are available, and they're the first step to safely getting back to things we miss most. Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision about COVID.
Some news to catch you up on. Coach, late last week, the university announced that Cyrus Russ, Senior Associate AD and Assistant Vice President for Athletic Compliance and Academic Services, has been appointed as Interim Athletic Director. We've done a couple of interviews, of course, being with compliance. He's working with NIL and dealing with the student athletes on that. And late last week, he was named Interim Athletic Director. I know you've had some conversations, and you dealt with him, obviously, on the compliance piece.
Yeah, on the compliance piece, and he just keeps us informed on the rules of the NCAA and things of that nature, and making sure that we're in compliance of the things that we do in terms of this football program, and as well as the other programs here at this university. Just keeping in compliance and just letting them know, being aware of the thing that's really happening throughout the NCAA.
And it's a busy time, of course. I know meetings are coming up between you and him, and trying to get that going.
Well, the biggest thing is I think that we always look for, and when you talk about leadership and just being transparent and communicating the things that need to be communicated to the coaches, to this department, and what in terms of what we need to get done to make it better for our student athletes. We still strive to perfect that, and I think that we can still get that done and bounce back from all this stuff that's been going on throughout this department. We're just going to continue to do the things we're doing as coaches throughout the whole department in terms of our student athletes and getting what they're needed to get done to be successful and have a great opportunity here at Alcorn State University Brave to be successful throughout whatever need to get done here at Alcorn and have a good experience here at Alcorn State.
There's some news that came out last week about transfer, trying to add to your roster due to the transfer. We'll get to that next week because of time. So what we'll do is we'll turn our attention right now to Mississippi Valley. And that's our next opponent, Saturday at 3 o'clock at Rice-Totten Stadium. At Valley, no one talked about them 3 weeks ago. Lo and behold, they beat North Carolina Central on the final play of the game at home on their homecoming. And then they go to Daytona and beat Bethune-Cookman. They've won 2 in a row as we head to Valley on Saturday. So let's talk about the Delta Devils. What do you expect?
Coach Danzig done a great job with the Delta Devils, man. And every chance I get to talk to him and just give him some encouraging words in terms of just football. And as a head coach, to head coach, but they got a football program. They come out and play extremely hard. They gave us a big fight last 19. We had 6 turnovers in that ball game, Charles. And I talked to the players about that this morning. We had 6 turnovers and still was able to come out with a victory. But we can't do that anymore. We just have to go out and play a solid ball game and mistake-free. And because this group of young men is coming off of a 2-game winning streak, beat some pretty solid teams in the conference. So you think of in terms of what they do, offensive and defensive, they're gonna be wired up and ready to play. Gonna be physically sound and playing fast.
You look at what Valley has done. They beat Central 17-16. They beat Bethune 20-14. Their losses early on, Murray State, Stephen F. Austin, they lost 38-25 to Southern. But for the Jaguars, 24 of their 38 points came in the second half. So if you look at it, the last 2.5 games, 14 points in the second half given up against Southern, gave up 14 against Bethune-Cookman. And you look at Central, just 16 points. So defensively, they're stout there. And offensively, Jelani Eason, the 5'8 grad student, had 56 yards rushing versus Bethune. He was 20 of 27 for 175 yards versus Central. So talk about what got to deal with him at quarterback.
He's a tough guy, and he's going to do what he do. And I think that in terms of what the Valley do, Coach Danzy, he's a smash-no defensive guy, and he want to try to run the ball with his offense to kind of grind it out a little bit to give his defense a chance to rest up and come back and play hard. So we're going to be dealing with some young men that really knows football. And basically, this is a very upperclassman group that we're playing against too, Charles. So we just got to be prepared, and things that we do, we got to be solid offensively, and things that we do offensively in terms of throwing in, running the football. Defense, we got to be solid, maintain our gaps, so he won't get a loose on the charge. And in the back end of it, we got to be able to cover the guys and make sure we create turnovers as well. The special team, we just got to continue to play solid special team.
Caleb Johnson, the guy that's going to get the bulk of the carries, had 96 yards versus Bethune-Cookman and 2 touchdowns. He's 5'9", coach, 5'9", 205. Redshirt sophomore from Memphis, so he's a load.
Yeah, he is, Charles, and he ran the ball hard. I mean, like I said, everything about Mississippi Valley Delta Devils, they play hard. Danzy got those guys playing extremely hard and extremely tough. It's just that we just got to be able to play a physical ball game. We got to match their intensity, Charles, when they come out. So we talked to the team about that today. We really got to play tough football against this good Valley football team.
And they have a kid from right up the road here in Port Gibson, Ja'Cory Rankin, 5'9", 190, a junior from Port Gibson. I saw some of their highlights, and he's very much involved in the action. Well, Coach, I mean, this is a big game here. This, Alcorn Valley typically at the back half of the schedule. This is a mid-season type game. Valley's won 2 in a row. We've had 16 days off, a big win over Grambling. I mean, if you look at the standings on the eastern side, of course, a big win by Jackson State over Alabama A&M. I want to get your thoughts. The spring, talked about the spring. The 2 participants in the championship game, UAPB and Alabama A&M, 1-5 is their combined record in conference. It just shows you how things can turn and things can change on a dime, and we've seen that in this conference over the last 2 weeks. I'm sure that's not a surprise to anybody.
It's only getting tougher, Charles, and that is the way this conference is. It's going to be tough. It's going to be competitive every weekend. Every weekend you're going to have a great football game here in the conference. So, like I tell the young men, we got to come out and play a solid A game every weekend to be competitive with what we're going to be matched up against. Every weekend is no cakewalk. You don't circle nobody on this calendar now, Charles. It's very competitive, and that's the way it should be. It's the way it should be. It should be competitive. That way you see good football.
Definitely. Texas Southern, no one talked about them. They knocked off Southern the other day. So it's you just never know what to expect in this conference. We're going to take one final break here on the McNair Show. We got a surprise coming up for you. We'll take a break. We'll be right back after this timeout.
Whether it's advice on managing your anxiety or tools to help you stay grounded, Coping 19 provides a range of resources and self-care tips to help you cope with this pandemic. We can help. Find the resources that work best for you at coping-19.org.
On the Braves Sports Network. Glad you can join us as we wrap up this Monday night show. Charles Edmond here, Braves head football coach Fred McNair. Coach, do you like surprises?
Very seldom I get a surprise, Charles. I'd rather know than be surprised, but sometimes I get emotion when I get surprised, Charles. So I don't know. I guess I don't have any other choice.
Well, there is a surprise coming here. We know Ken Gordon, of course, he does a great job in taking pictures. And Kim Gordon has a little message here in recognition of 6 division titles and 4 championships and winning homecoming. Fred Kinsey Jr. and Ken Gordon ask alums to submit game day images from the past 6 seasons. These images were compiled together to create this mosaic collage print. Ladies and gentlemen, the collage print, and it is terrific.
That is awesome, Charles. And Ken, man, I appreciate you and the fans and everybody for a phenomenal picture, man. And man, the image, I mean, this is great. I get a chance to kind of go through all the images and see that people's is on it, man, and it's awesome. I really appreciate it, man, and I can't say enough about you, Ken, and what you do. I really appreciate you, man, and appreciate everybody that donated the pictures and everything that had to do with it. And I think this is going to be a phenomenal picture to put up in my office tomorrow.
That is amazing.
It is
How
something,
in
Charles.
the world did he do that?
That is amazing.
That is unbelievable. Ken Gordon, good job, man. Great job. We're going to have to take pictures and post it all on social media. So this is a surprise that you definitely like.
Yeah, this is a great surprise, Charles. And I'm not a very good picture taker either. And I take pictures with fans and everybody, but this is unreal.
Where's that going? The living room, the office, the film room? Where's that going?
It's going to go in the office right now, Charles. Exactly right. And that's special, man.
That is special. Ken Gordon is special. That is great.
That is awesome.
That is
an
great.
Awesome piece of work, man.
We're going to post some pictures of it too, by the way, so folks will get a chance to look at it. That'll do it for the Fred McNair program. See, that was a surprise that you really enjoyed and you didn't know it was coming.
Exactly right. Charles, I just want to say thanks to the alumni and fans and friends for their great support throughout this season, man, and such a phenomenal crowd here at homecoming. And we got to go to Valley this week, and it's right up the street, about 3 hours away. And we're gonna need all of y'all to come and support this football program to victory. We're gonna need that 12 man in the stands. If it's just 10,000 y'all, make it sound like it's 30. We're gonna be very appreciative of y'all, and the kids will be very happy to see you during the course of these road trips this year, Charles. We got 4 in a row, so let's load up, gas up, and let's come support the Alcorn State University Brave football team. Go Braves!
And look, Valley. No one has talked about Valley for a while now, but I remember, and you remember this too. We went to Valley one year. I think we got tripped up, there one year, just when we were rolling pretty good. Valley played hard and they made plays, and they're going to play hard. And look, wins over Bethune-Cookman Central. You look at what happened in the Southern game, how they kind of contained Southern a little bit a few weeks ago. Valley's got a little bit of a momentum going on both sides of the ball.
They do, Charlie. That's what's going to make this game so tough, the way they play. And like I said, we're going to need the fans in the stands to kind of offset their fans because they're right on a natural high right now. A 2-game winning streak, and that's important to them. And Coach Dan's here excited about where this program is going right now. But like I said, just load up, gas up, and come to Annabena, Rice Titan Stadium.
Rice Titan Stadium,
as we take on the Delta Devils.
Should be fun. The Devil, they call it the Devil's Den. The Devil's Den. We'll be there for all the action pregame at 2:30. Coach, that's awesome.
I'm gonna be looking at this all night. So I got another meeting at about 7:30, and I'm gonna take it with me. And I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna look at this for a while.
I'm sure you're gonna show it to your players.
Yeah, I most definitely. I mean, because this simplifies what they do too, Charles. I mean, me is in them, and this whole coaching staff of the things that we can get done to make this program a very successful program. So I will share it with the young men that's on this football team, man. It's unreal. And again, I want to say thanks to Ken and all the people that donated the pictures and things of that nature. But I'm gonna get a chance to take my magnifying glass and look at all the pictures too.
Well, you can do that, and I'm wondering, do you have a pair of those Beats by Dre headphones? I think Montel, that's another piece of news. Montel Jordan donating that to the team. I saw him warming up with it. How did all that come together?
I think that was so fitting for the things that he did, and we talked about it during the course of recruiting when he came down and sit down and talk to some of the things that he want to do for this university. And what's so intriguing, Charles, about that whole situation when he presented those beats to the kids, that he talked about where he went to school at, but he never had a homecoming, and so actually this was his first homecoming that he ever been a participant in throughout his college days when he was in school. So I was very excited to hear that news and making this his very first homecoming. And I'm glad it was a tremendous crowd and the weather permitted, and he got a chance to see a homecoming of this nature. And I just want to say thanks to him again for making those donations to these players, and these players think the world of those beats, Charles. And I don't wear earphones other than the one I have on now, this headset you got, and the one on game day. But I think I'm gonna take my chance and putting those on, listen to the music.
I was just gonna ask,
yeah.
I'm sure you got a good pair, and you don't listen to them on the bus.
No, I'm on the bus. I'm in football mind, Charles. I don't care about music then, but I do want to appreciate, thanks him and his family for coming down and making a donation to this football program, and it means the world. And the kids, they love him.
Yeah,
they love him.
Well, Coach, we appreciate it. Let's go get them. And man, I'm gonna stare at this as well. Let's go get them.
You got about 10 seconds.
Okay, I got 10 seconds. That'll do it for the Fred McNair program on the Brave Sports Network. I'm Charles Edmond, head coach Fred McNair. We'll talk to you next week. So long.